Dan Olds here, and we are talking Winter Classic Invitational Student Cluster Competition with the mighty University of California Santa Cruz team. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
Very good.
Good. So let's go around and see how you guys have divided up the work. So Chris, you first. What are you responsible for?
Yeah, so the model that we decided to pursue is that each student gets 2 of the applications. That's a bit of redundancy too. And so right now what I'm working on is I've been working on the LAMPS benchmark. And so far what we've been trying out is compiling with different settings and just running it with different configurations. We've been
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Very good. So you've said you had 2. So you have lamps and you have another one too?
Yep. I don't think we've decided that yet. At least.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, you've got a week,
Yep.
so plenty of time to make those decisions.
I think moving forward, a plan would be right now, each of us are specialized more directly in one, and then we'll kind of start teaching ours to another person so that everyone understands too. So the first step would be kind of in-depth learning your own, and then getting 2 people to provide input on another
Which one do you have, Daniel?
I'm working with GrowMax application. And so definitely for starters, I spent a good amount of time just trying to understand the application, how to get it built and run. There's definitely some steps there. And then working with multiple OpenMP threads that were automatically detected, even using a GPU, and then multiple MPI threads. And then I primarily for testing performance, I just run the provided application that was given. Lignoglucose or something file. Yeah. And I never ran it all the way through because it takes, even with a GPU, it would take like 13 hours, but it gives a provided estimate of how long it would take. So my next steps is trying GrowMax documentation gives what they think will be the best compilers and math libraries. So I've just been using those. I guess I'm going to try mixing up compilers next just to see if that will make probably marginal difference, but it's definitely the next step. Yeah.
And be sure and document, remember you guys have to document what your initial runs were and then what you optimized to. So, yeah.
We definitely have some documentation going.
Good.
I'll definitely make sure to keep up, make it thorough.
Good job. So Connor, how about you? What are you working on?
So I'm working on HPCG. So that's just a synthetic benchmark similar to HPL, except it's kind of like your worst case scenario. And same thing, just focusing on getting it running. Couple MPI threads. I haven't been able to do multi-node. I get some error every time I do, so I think we're going to talk to our contact at Google about giving us permission to do multi-node. I think we accidentally put a block on that. But that's my next step. And then after that, I'm going to start looking into different kinds of MPI between OpenMPI, Intel's MPI, or MPICH. And then I think after that, I wanted to look into different blocks, the basic linear algebra. My benchmark is very dependent on that.
Yes. Yeah. But there's not a lot of knobs and things to adjust on HPCG, which makes it kind of nice.
Yeah, there's not as much. I'm not working with any big data sets. There's a file in it called hpcg.dat that specifies the problem size, and it's just 4 lines of text. And the first 2 lines just say the authors and then where they made it. That's it. So there's not a lot of big data handling or
no.
It's just here's the problem size. How much work do you want this thing to do? So
nice. How about you, Matt? What are you working on?
I'm working on HPL, so that involves a lot of similar optimizations like Connor mentioned, like choosing a compiler, the version of MPI and BLAS. But there's also some more knobs to tune in terms of the input file with the block size, the kinds of linear algebra operations that are performed. So I'm working on trying to craft a good input file and also to use the right compiler and software.
Sure. And to get that problem size correct.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, that matrix size. So Jackie, that brings us to you.
Yeah, I've been working with OpenFOAM, which is the one that simulates particle transmission. So it also took me a pretty long time just to figure out what was going on, what all the variables meant. But I've been figuring out how to run it in the foreground, in the background, and then in parallel across different nodes. And then I'm going to try and start working with the GPU pretty soon. Okay.
Again, you've got a week. It's time to get started on the serious stuff. So it sounds like you have all of the applications up and running, right? With the exception of HPCG, it's not on multi-node yet. Okay, that's a good place to be now. How is it been? Let me ask you this. What's your hardware configuration?
So we have a few options right now. We haven't exactly narrowed it down.
Dude, you got a week. I got to have that final. Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of have a few options. We have a bigger, I think it's 30 CPU cluster. But then we also have the 2-node GPU cluster. So right now we're going to see, obviously GPUs are very good, but it could be harder to get certain applications running on there. And we don't want to stick with the GPUs if we can't get everything on there.
Which GPUs?
I think they're A100. Unless someone else.
So you're talking about a choice between like a 15 node CPU only cluster versus a 2-node with A100 cluster, A100s GPUs. That's not a choice at all.
I know.
You guys should not be sweating that out. That's a slam dunk.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's more about whether or not we can just get it running. We just want to make sure we can actually get it to work on the GPU.
I would concentrate all my work on the GPUs, on the GPU cluster. How many GPUs?
I don't know. I just know it's
So we're getting more as time goes on because it just cost too much to keep them all running at once. So we started out with one, and then our sponsor was going to give us more as time went on so that we would have all of them by the competition.
All of them being what total number? Because you've got to stay around the 80 teraflop rule too. But you want to have, we're talking 2 nodes with GPUs.
Yeah.
So probably with A100s, you're talking 4 on each node in order to stay near 80 teraflops, I think. Yeah, it'll be pretty close, which is good. That's good, but you have no decision to make a week out. You got to pick something, and you really got to pick the A100s and go with that.
Yeah.
Again, you only have a week, so right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm right, aren't I? Yeah, next week is the 26th. That's when we're starting. Yeah, so time to make some decisions and time to start optimizing. Word to the wise. How many of you have gotten your Microsoft Surfaces yet? 2, 3, 4? Matt, you didn't get one yet?
I moved, so it's a bit complicated.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, keep me updated. Let me know when you get it or if you don't, and I'll make sure you get one. What do we think of the Surfaces? We tried them out?
Yeah, I think it's convenient. I have my computer on my desk for like most work, and then my Surface by my bed for, I don't know, some more lightweight work or just tablet viewing. So it's nice to have both options, definitely.
Is it working well for streaming videos and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's good. What are you using it with, Jackie? You've been playing around with it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a ton of time to look through it, but I really appreciated the fact that it had both the keyboard and the pen. I thought that was really helpful so that you can, use both depending on what you're using it for.
Yes, I think that's cool too. One of the things I kind of envisioned is that you might use it. I know you're not in-person classes now, but when you are, use it to take notes and to carry around from class to class. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's what I was going to try and do.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're cool little devices, and more powerful than I thought they would be. Very cool. Anybody else have any interesting creative uses for it?
No, I just definitely agree with the note taking aspect of it. Like back when we were in person, I also had like an older generation of Surface that I take notes on. Yeah,
Okay.
but the one that they sent, like your generation tech, everything just feels a lot better.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
In terms of like note taking. Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything to add, Connor?
Yeah, no. I like using OneNote a lot. I tutor a lower division programming class, and I often like to draw things out in OneNote. So having like a way to take that on the go with me is going to be pretty nice, and I'll probably use it to take notes when things are bursting in.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And I know that the good folks at Microsoft will be glad to hear that you're using them. And we will make sure and get one out to Matthew as well. But fantastic. Thank you for that. And send me any pictures, anything creative you do with it, and I'll forward it on to them and let them know that you're enjoying the technological experience. So how's it been working with Google? That's a jump ball question. Anybody can jump in on that.
Not a lot of direct communication. I think this coming week there'll be a lot more, but it's definitely interesting messages passed about what sort of hardware they have, and like Connor was talking about our options, and so we definitely have a little more work to communicate with Google a little more. We've been focusing on our applications a bit more, but I think just learning about the what Google is able to provide and something we could use in the future. I think it's pretty cool for us.
Yeah, that's a pretty big buffet line they have there, with many all-you-can-eat options and a lot of different configurations. Yeah, and I think you're all up on the resume board, which is good. That's a very good thing. Names, resumes, pictures, all of that. You'll be getting some emails from me on specifics about the competition, how you're going to be getting your data sets and things. Dropbox, I've created Dropboxes for your teams. And you'll get access to those, which will have the competition data sets in them. And they'll also have a place for you to upload your results along with your application briefs. And I'll be sending you an email to schedule your judges interview where you'll be judged. Yes, this is a judgment zone. Any questions, comments, concerns? No?
Sure. Well, so I guess I'm assuming, are you familiar with applications, specifically GrowMax? And specifically, when you say the test data, I know there's ways you can get very base level of GrowMax files and build up to the final, what they call .tpr file, which you can just finally execute on. I'm wondering if the test data will be given through that final .tpr file, or I should learn more in depth on how to build using the base files to create that final file. Does that question make sense?
I think that is the way to go, but I know as much about GrowMax as the average 12-year-old boy.
Okay.
And by the way, not the smartest 12-year-old boy, but if you want to shoot me an email on that, I'll make sure your question gets answered.
Okay. That sounds perfect. It was, I thought there might've been a chance that you don't know the details of GrowMax.
Yeah.
But
I might as well. A lot of people think there's a chance that I know things, but typically they're wrong.
You know how to run a competition, so
that's that remains to be seen.
All right.
So far, we're doing okay, and it sounds like so far you guys are doing pretty good.
I think so.
Except, who's working on NAMD?
Yeah.
Is anybody working on NAMD?
No, that's the one application we don't. There's 6 applications and 5 of us right now.
Yeah, I would suggest somebody gets working on NAMD. And I would finish up my work on HPCG pretty quickly because there's not an awful lot to it. and you're not going to get a really big speed up on it. But NAMD is going to be worth more in points to you guys. So I would work on it soon. Again, you've got a week.
Yeah.
That's forever, right? With enough caffeine, a week can last forever.
Yeah, we'll get people to pick up on that too, for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. It's a tougher application, and it needs some attention. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Again, if you need anything or have any questions or anything, let me know. And good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.